X says exit cloud is the most effective way to control costs. It has been a full year since Musk completed the privatization transaction of Twitter, now renamed X platform, for $44 billion on October 27, 2022. During this year, Musk made drastic reforms, such as layoffs, restructuring Twitter 2.0, testing various features in person, and requiring employees to work in the office under various operations. It has continuously refreshed the external understanding of this CEO and the latest X platform. What's even more surprising is that Twitter, which used to have about 8,000 employees but now has less than 2,000, still runs well and has launched many new features. How did this happen? On October 27, 2023, the engineering team of the X platform recently released a long post revealing the current status of the platform's operation and the cloud exit practices it has taken against the wind. The closure of the Sacramento data center and the reconfiguration of 5,200 racks and 148,000 servers have resulted in savings of over $100 million annually. In total, the X platform released 48 megawatts of capacity, reconfigured 60,000 pounds of network ladders, and then provided them to other data centers. Optimized the use of cloud service providers on the X platform and began to operate more locally. This transformation has reduced the monthly cloud cost of the X platform by 60%. One of the changes made by the X platform's engineering team was to remove all media/data block artifacts from the cloud, which reduced its cloud data storage size by 60%. In addition, the team successfully reduced cloud data processing costs by 75%. In fact, whether use cloud or exit cloud saves or increases costs is mainly due to differences in enterprise scale. Twitter, now the X platform, announced in December 2020 that it would use AWS to provide support for its main timeline. At that time, it was only known that the two companies had signed a multi-year agreement, which stated that Twitter and AWS would collaborate to expand the infrastructure of social media platforms, publish features faster, and expand their service portfolio. However, they did not disclose the specific amount of the cooperation agreement to the public. Until March of this year, the information disclosed in a report that Twitter and AWS had signed a 5.5-year contract worth $510 million. In addition to signing an agreement with AWS, Twitter had previously signed a $1 billion contract with Google Cloud. Meanwhile, according to the original agreement, Twitter agreed to pay Amazon a fee regardless of whether it used AWS capacity or not. However, everything underwent significant changes after Musk took over Twitter. Later, when Musk was sorting out Twitter's overall business, he was surprised to find that Twitter's cash flow was negative and had not yet achieved profitability. This led to the series of adjustments he made to Twitter at the beginning of the video, and he tried to save costs as much as possible. The cost of natural cloud infrastructure was also considered. Later, Twitter closed some additional server capacity used when receiving excessive traffic and attempted to renegotiate cloud service contracts with AWS, Google Cloud, and Oracle, but there were reports that the supplier was unwilling to renegotiate. In response, foreign media the information also revealed that Twitter owed Amazon AWS nearly $70 million in service fees at that time. Of course, it is not yet known whether Twitter has repaid this funds. However, through the latest tweet from its engineering team, it is evident that Twitter has already saved a significant amount of financial expenses by going offline. As Musk is proving, operations like X can be operated with a quarter of its employees and still generate huge profits from going offline, so you know that in many cases, most large companies leaving cloud computing have huge savings waiting to be unleashed. As a deep supporter of going offline, DHH claimed in February this year that its own application, after going offline, is expected to save about $7 million in server costs over the next 5 years without changing the size of its existing operation and maintenance team. For the sake of detailed explanation, he also calculated an account. In 2022, it spent $3.2 million on the cloud. Nearly $1 million was used to store 8 PB of files in S3, completely replicated across multiple regions. The remaining approximately $2.3 million will be used for everything else: application servers, cache servers, database servers, search servers, and so on. This is the portion of its plan to reduce cloud costs to zero in 2023 and consider withdrawing 8 PB of data from S3 in 2024. After careful consideration, many benchmark tests, and consideration of AMD's new Zen 4 chip and Gen 4 NVMe driver speed, it plans to place an order with Dell for approximately $600,000. In the era of cloud computing, spending $600,000 on a pile of hardware may sound like a lot. But if amortized within a conservative 5-year period, it only costs $120,000 per year. Of course, this is only the cost of hardware. They must also be connected to the power supply and bandwidth. It currently spends approximately $60,000 per month on renting 8 dedicated racks between 2 data centers through Deft. Then, the space was intentionally overconfigured, so in reality, all these new servers only need to be placed in existing racks without requiring more space or power. Therefore, the expenditure remains approximately $720,000 per year. This is a total cost of $840,000 per year. Compared to the $2.3 million in cloud computing, it will have faster hardware, more cores, extremely affordable NVMe storage, and space to scale at a very low cost, as long as we can still fit into 4 racks in each data center. Roughly speaking, this can save it $1.5 million annually. During this period, $500,000 was set aside for unforeseen expenses, resulting in a savings of $7 million over 5 years. At the same time, DHH stated that #CloudExit is likely at a critical moment towards mainstream. However, for many companies still in the process of cloud business transformation and benefiting from the cloud use, they cannot agree with this step of going offline. For example, on the X platform, their spending on cloud computing has decreased by 60%, and they have completed the same work locally, without specifying the cost. Twitter did indeed sign a very poor fixed-cost contract with GCP, Google Cloud Platform, resulting in a large amount of unused cloud capacity that was overpriced. Closing the data center may leave them with a large amount of capitalized equipment, which they can transfer GCP-managed data processing to. In other words, these savings may not come from actual technical efficiency, but rather from getting rid of poor contract conditions and utilizing a large amount of already acquired hardware.